The Philadelphia 76ers are a mediocre basketball team, obviously. After starting the season with a scorching hot 8-2 East leading record, in the last 20 games, the Sixers have cooled off and fell back to earth, hovering around the 500 mark. Which, I mean, end of the day, the most realistic Sixers fans should have expected going into this wacky, drama-filled, disease-laden season. At essentially a little over the quarter mark of the regular year, the Sixers hold the 17th best record in the association, smack dab in the middle of the pack. And upon further investigation, this really isn't even that bad when really looking at it, especially taking in the context of what this season was going to look like. About half the league, even more specific, 12 teams are hovering around that mark as well. And for the Sixers, who hold these type stats, it actually makes sense. They deserve to be there. Bottom 10 in field goals made / field goals attempted. Bottom 10 again in three-pointers made, three-pointers attempted. Bottom 10 in assists, as well as defensive rating. And we are dead last, I repeat, dead last, emphasizing dead last again for 3 times, in rebounding, specifically offensive rebounding, as well as pace. To summarize who the Sixers are up to this point in the season, and honestly might be for the rest of the year, barring some miracle, or at the very least some new reinforcements. We are a very slow team that relies heavily on ISO play, who cannot get boards, rarely gets open looks in the flow of the offense because of our lack of assists, can't defend the perimeter for our lives, don't get that many shots up, 2-point field goals, nor 3-point field goals. This is not a winning recipe. Middle of the pack, mediocre team. I will admit, we do play with a lot of heart, which I respect and appreciate. The most heart I have seen given by a 76ers squad since the 2017-2018 year. These men are motivated to win. We obviously know why, but they do play with a chip on their shoulder, using it as motivation. We have a good average to above average players, able to beat the best teams in the league when we actually put our minds to it, but for some reason are just too inconsistent across the board. Evidently, we are just not good enough. Still in the playoff hunt though, still in the playoff hunt. Obviously not the seed we want right now, but it is what it is. It still doesn't answer the question though. The one crux, core, philosophical question. Why are we in this predicament? Number 25. Now I know this is a touchy subject, y'all. I already understand that. But guess what? We're still going to talk about it. We have to talk about it to actually dissect. While a whole lot of Sixer fans don't really want to admit it, and probably still won't, Simo the Savage is a huge part of the makeup of this team. Obviously, he is a nut. I am on record calling this man a fraud. I'm pissed off at Benny 1 point and all that he ruined. But you see the results of having him playing on the court versus not. The cold hard truth on our team is that they are screwed long-term, barring some miracle. Same as they have been since the day our boy decided to pass that ball instead of dunk in Game 7 of last year's Eastern Conference semifinals. That player, that nut, he masked the 76ers' flaws, which was by design because his team was built for him. But that's neither here nor there. I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I'll say it again. Can't be traded for anything less than 80% of his value or the team will be worse in the long run. And since nobody, and I really do mean nobody, at least at the moment, is willing to pay that value for him, we are stuck. So is it time to panic? Short term, long term, and I hate to break it, but yeah. At the end of the day, we still have one of the top 10 best players in the NBA. That man is Joel Embiid. Now, will he stay healthy throughout the whole season? We don't know. But if he does, we are at least, in my estimation, we are between a 4 and 6 seed when it's all said and done. My question is, how long does he stay if this Ben thing doesn't actually work out to get us back a top player? When does Joel request a trade? Joel Embiid probably isn't staying a Sixer long term if he doesn't have help, and that is a very sad thought to have, but it's one that's realistic, to be honest. I got him staying at least till like the last year of his contract, so I don't have no thoughts about that, but long term, bro, like I am scared. I do not want to hear about the future propaganda that a lot of Sixer fans have been spewing. And I love our young guys. I'm not trying to even talk bad on them, right? But this narrative that we can look forward to the future is honestly futile. There is parity in the league again. The talent pool and age depth in this association is vast, bro. The league is getting younger. more athletic. You will see more than one Kevin Durant types in a few years. We'll see more than one Steph Curry types in a few years. And it's not just 76er fans who have this type of thought, this delusional grandeur, if you will. Even with my man who is a bum Boston Celtics fan, he always brings up the ages of Tatum and JB, of like how they're going to ascend in the next few years. Even if that's true, that doesn't mean other players aren't going to do the same as well. Look around the league. The whole league is young and is balling out. I can bring up Trae Young. I can bring up Luka. I can bring up Ja Morant. And shoot, if even Zion comes back healthy, a lot of teams can say, wait for the future and we'll be good. So if everybody can say that, what makes that statement special? It means nothing. We do not have time. Winning an NBA championship is officially a crapshoot. We either get it done now in the next 3 years, or it's chalk. Ben Simmons is our last trade piece from the process. It is for all the marbles, and we need to maximize that at all costs. Because if not, I honestly fear that the Sixers will be cursed for all generations beyond Joel Embiid's era. You do not tank on purpose, lose seasons on purpose to get 2 number 1 overall picks just to give them both away for lesser value. No. So we wait and hope an actual miracle happens. If it was that dire, Ben Simmons would be gone by now. Like, we have seen reports of the Sixers saying that there are 28 names who they would actually trade or swap Ben Simmons with. Last time I checked, there's about 28 all-star spots across the whole NBA. Like, come on. Like, we are being told in our faces that we're going to have to wait. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait. The 76ers overachieved in the first 10 games, and that's okay to admit. Maybe we would have been continuing our success if we didn't get injuries or we didn't get hit with COVID protocols, but I guess we'll never know. Oh well, it is what it is. Ironic that 7 years after the process started with Sam Hinkie trading Jrue Holiday for the 6th pick in the 2013 NBA draft, that the team would be back where it started. Good enough to get a playoff berth, but not good enough to get a championship. NBA purgatory.